So I had a hankering for fast food, and not just any fast food. I really was craving a Arby's beef and cheddar. My sister posted on Facebook a few weeks back that she was making these beautiful homemade Arby beef and cheddars, and I thought I could probably do the same thing. I did a little research, asked a few questions, and I think I've come up with pretty well a beef and cheddar. Okay? Now, along with that, I like the baked potatoes. Now, you can only get them in Canada, so if you go to the States, I don't think you can get baked potatoes. And unfortunately, the one I like, which is the mushroom and Swiss, they don't make anymore. So I had to figure out how to recreate that so I can enjoy it. And I think I'm pretty close on that too. So if you like mushroom and Swiss potatoes, which, I don't know, I love them, have a watch and see what you think. Well, this is takeout, so of course we have to have an official Arby's takeout bag just to put us in the mood. The first thing we have to do is get our baked potatoes in the oven. You want baking size potatoes. You don't want little measly things. But, you know, size is your choice. You're going to put them in the oven for about an hour. I mean, you know, flipping them, you want them good and cooked. So right here I'm chopping up the mushrooms, which kind of goes with the potato. So we're going to get them all chopped up in a fairly big slices, not huge. And then we're going to go on to the next step, which is cooking them down. Into the pan they go, and of course they're going to reduce down. You can see there's a big difference. It gives them a little color too. I put a little bit of oil in the pan just to kind of, you know, so they didn't stick to the bottom. But once they're done, I'm going to take them off, and we're going to throw them into a bowl because we've got to put it aside for later. You know, the potatoes aren't quite done yet. And of course, through the magic of video, there they are out of the oven an hour later. We let them cool for a little bit just so I could handle them. Now, the most important part is the butter sauce, but it's real simple. The butter sauce is a combination of butter, Parmesan cheese, and black pepper, to your taste, of course. So right here I've got about 2 or 3 tablespoons, and I think by the time I was done I doubled it, just because I wanted the taste to be as close to what I remembered as possible. Oh, and then while I was microwaving the butter, my bowl cracked. So I had to transfer my mushrooms into another container just so I could use that bowl to nuke everything. So that's when I added the extra butter. And that seemed to work out. You can see right there where I'm holding the crack. So I guess I got to look at another set of bowls. Boo-hoo. So we mixed that all around. I didn't add more Parmesan. It actually seemed to work out perfectly. So I think it's about 4 to 5 tablespoons of butter, 3 good tablespoons of Parmesan, and sprinkle the pepper on to however you want. So I kind of guessed here, and I know when I did take it out, it was too thick. So I'm glad I did dilute it with more butter. We'll give her a good mix and until it's all incorporated nicely, because you don't want to be getting chunks in that as you're pouring it on your potato. So the next step is to actually build the potato, and it's simple. So we get a potato, you got to slice it almost down to the bottom. You don't want to slice the ends. You want to leave it about a ½ an inch from the ends, and there's a reason for that. You don't want the potato to explode. And then you gently push it apart at the seam, like I'm doing, and you kind of fluff it up. I guess if you really wanted it fluffy, take a fork and fluffy it up. So from there we put the mushrooms on, and then our butter sauce. And of course, I was halfway through this potato thinking, you know, there's something missing. Yeah, Well, I didn't put the Swiss cheese on, so next time I'm going to have to remember. I did have extra butter left over, which was fine because I've got it in the freezer now. So the next time I want to make these things, all I got to do is cook up a few mushrooms, and I've already got the butter sauce raring to go. So that's pretty well your mushroom Swiss baked potato, without the cheese, of course. Next time we'll remember the cheese. Now, fun part number 2. We're going to make our Arby's beef and cheddar. So the first thing we're going to do is take the onion buns, slice them. Unless you have buns that don't need slicing, then you don't have to worry about this part. But we're going to slice them. I've already got my frying pan warmed up. I don't actually have a griddle, so I got to use what I've got. So I've got a frying pan, and we're going to throw these on and give them a toast. The one thing I didn't do was butter them, and I was told that they don't get buttered. So we're just going to grill them, give them a little brown look on the bottom, just so they're a little toasty. As you can see, they're not super dark. Didn't want them that way, but there's a little bit of brown to them. Alright, so now we need cheese, and that's Tostitos. I bought it with the chips. About a half a jar is going to do. We're going to pour it into my Back to the Future mug. Warm it in the microwave for about a minute so it's not cold. So along with that, we need Arby's sauce. And I found out that the closest thing to Arby's sauce is Catalina dressing. So I got some of that. We're going to put that on. Now I'm going to make the horsey sauce. The horsey sauce is, well, it's not made with salad dressing. You got to get the actual mayo. So it's made with equal parts of mayonnaise, and we'll just throw enough in to get me through a few sandwiches. And the other part, the secret ingredient, is horseradish sauce. I've got creamy. If you really like the chunky stuff, the raw stuff, go for it. Throw that in. It's just going to make it have a little more texture to it. But I went one part, any amount you want. I gave it a taste test once I was done mixing her all up. And you know what? That tasted almost exactly like the damn packets. It was great. And now to assemble our Arby's beef and cheddar. So we're going to take our bun. On the bottom we're going to put our Catalina / Arby sauce. And 3 ounces of deli meat are going to go in the middle. On the other bun we're going to put our cheese, a big heaping tablespoon. And of course, if you want your Arby's horsey sauce, that kind of goes on top of the meat as much as you want. Well, that was pretty simple. Now it's time to enjoy. So there you have it. I hope it was informative, as always, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you got comments, leave them below. Especially if you try it, I'd like to know how it turns out for you. And if you haven't subscribed, as always, give me a subscribe, give me a like. I always like the thumbs up, not so much the thumbs down. And hit the bell. That'll tell you the next time I upload a video. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.